You might be trying to decide if you should join Head Start to Health. If you are, you're probably wrestling with a single question, and I bet that question sounds something like, what's in this for me? Or what is this going to do for me? What you're essentially asking in some way, some shape, or some form is, how is this all going to add value to my life? Well, if you haven't already taken a look at our income opportunity, our compensation plans, our cash contest, please stop right here and take a minute to review those materials. After you review those materials, many of you will clearly see that Head Start to Health can add tremendous value to your life. For others who are not really familiar with these type of opportunities, this might not be as obvious, but if you just stick with me for the next several minutes, you will clearly see that Head Start to Health can add substantial value to your life, beginning today. First, we've all heard the phrase knowledge is power. Well, never was this more true than in the area of healthcare. Fortunately, I'm a nurse and so is my wife. We have both spent tens of thousands of hours being trained in our profession. We've both spent thousands of hours in direct patient care in hospitals as well. Hospitals are where we feel comfortable. We speak the lingo, we know the system, we know the ins and outs. It gives me the greatest peace of mind to know that if, God forbid, anything serious should land one of us in the hospital, the other one would be fully prepared to deal with the task at hand. If it's my wife in the hospital bed, I know exactly how to monitor her progress. I know exactly how I would confront doctors regarding her treatment. I know exactly what I would do to prevent any harm from happening to her while she's in the hospital. I know the most common complications that extend hospital visits. I know how to get her out of there as quickly as possible. I know exactly how I would fight insurance companies, and I know exactly how I would negotiate hospital bills. All of this knowledge gives me a sense of power to handle these difficult circumstances. And if it's someone I love laying in the hospital bed, I wouldn't trade that knowledge for all the money in the world. Believe me when I tell you that this knowledge is powerful. The sad truth is that on a daily basis, millions of people enter this environment completely powerless. They don't have the foggiest idea of what's going on in a hospital. Friend, it's a frightening place to be, I understand. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Hospitals can be overwhelming. Please, let Head Start to Health help you face those challenges. Being empowered when it matters most is priceless. So, as far as value, I honestly consider a decision to join Head Start as the most valuable decision you could make for yourself and for your family. So, now that you're convinced that this knowledge is so important in these days, you're probably beginning to wonder if this information can actually save you money in the real world. Well, I'm here to tell you that the savings will blow your mind. Recently, I had some blood work drawn. The cost of the lab work was over $700. My insurance company insisted that they were not going to cover the cost, leaving me responsible for paying $700 out of pocket for routine lab work. Through techniques I will teach subscribers, I was able to negotiate a 60% reduction in this balance. This one example alone saved me $415. And it doesn't just work for small balances. After a recent hospitalization, my mom received a bill in the mail for close to $20,000, and her insurance was refusing to pay a single penny. That's enough to give anyone a heart attack. But after preparing my mother and father for negotiations, they were able to work with the hospital to reduce this bill to only $5,000. It was a whopping savings of nearly $15,000. Now that's what you call dodging a bullet. Subscribers are going to learn exactly how this was done. I can assure you the solution was one you would never consider. Soon after that experience, I helped my father reduce his monthly prescription drug cost from $80 a month all the way down to just $8 a month. That's a savings of $864 a year. If my father were to retire in 10 years, these two simple moves would have saved him close to $24,000. Now, don't you think that he could find good use for that money in retirement? In reality, these savings are just scratching the surface. Subscribers will also learn how to slash their own prescription drug costs, how to prevent their own complications from occurring in the hospital, how to bundle medical treatments in order to get their biggest bang for the buck, and so much more. When you have the right information, the potential for savings is mind boggling. Head Start to Health will add tremendous value to your life. So now that you're becoming excited about the money you can save through Head Start to Health, let's start talking about the money you could be earning here at the same time. You really have to view the compensation plan and both of the cash contests before we go any further. It's really important that you do that. Now, once you have done this, I hope you get a sense of appreciation for the fact that I'm not promoting this as an opportunity to get rich quick. If your heart is set on becoming an overnight millionaire, then Head Start to Health is not the place for you. This is not a place for hype. But if you want to hear about adding value to your life, then listen up. Because what I'm going to talk about here in the next couple minutes is extremely important. Now, some of you may already have a supplemental income stream from a variety of sources. It may be from stocks, it may be from CDs or bonds, investment properties, or any number of different things. But when it comes to stocks, we've all learned that if you just let your money sit in the stock market over the last 10 years, you've basically gone nowhere. That's 10 years of earning power lost right there. When it comes to earning income from CDs or interest on savings, banks have essentially dropped their rates to next to nothing. And by doing this, they really have robbed you of another avenue to produce passive income. Now, what about investment properties? After the recent real estate collapse, I highly doubt that many of you out there are ready to take on a risk like a second mortgage for an investment property. So, what options do you have? The truth is, you need to find an income opportunity that allows you to consistently build an income stream over time. This is the only way that will allow you to keep up with inflation and catch up on your savings for retirement. Do you realize that if you worked hard enough and brought in 100 referrals to Head Start to Health, you would be generating a residual income equivalent to interest earned on $1.2 million sitting in the bank? If you wanted to purchase an investment property that would generate a residual income of $1,000 a month, you might have to pay $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 for that property. It's really important that you develop your own income goals at Head Start. Some of you might be content to have just a little bit of extra money for food or gas each month. Others of you might want to generate a little bit more income so that you can pay your health insurance or even pay your mortgage. The decision is really yours. We place no limitations on how much you can earn. We encourage each of you to just get started. See how easy it is to get compensated with Head Start to Health. Just join today and begin to add value to your life.